has been a long ass time to the point where I've almost forgotten how to do these videos. But we are here to do UFC Fight Night. Josh Emmett versus Lerone Murphy. Now, as you should know, we're not really doing live watch parties, but we might come back for some. And I think this one is at 2 a.m. Okay, we might. We'll see. If I can, there'll be a thumbnail for the live watch party in the next few days. But for now, yeah. We're not going to get into where I've been. It has been a very long time since I've uploaded to the channel. There's a reason behind it. Not a reason, a singular. There's multiple, actually. There's reasons. I'm not going to get into it because they're just, in my opinion, they feel like excuses of why I haven't been posted. But we are not here to waffle about me or anything else. Let's get right into today's video. Being Torrez Finney is taking on Robert Valentin. Valentin hasn't got all of his stats jotted down for some reason. Not too sure why. He has fought before in the UFC, so not too sure why they haven't done his reach and leg reach, but we will check other sites for that. But let's continue with Robert anyways, because Robert is weighing at 185 pounds in his last win. His height is 6'2". He's from Switzerland. His last fight doesn't say here, but I don't remember who his last fight was. All I know is he did not win it, and it was in the UFC. He has 1 no contest, 4 losses, and 11 wins. While Torrez Finney is having his debut. Is he having his debut? I know it says there he's having his debut, but I swear he's already fought in the UFC. Also, Torrez Finney reminds me of this meme here.
What in fuck's name are you doing? Oh!
It reminds me of the CJ long arms meme. I don't know why. Maybe it's because he's got really long arms. Look at them. And also the neck is all the way up here. Like, he has such a tiny neck. The man's huge. He has huge traps. So, fair play to the guy. He's 3-0. He's having his debut in the UFC today. Well, this week, not today. What am I on about? He doesn't have his height recorded down, but he is 186 pounds in his last win. Has a reach of 75.5 inches and a leg reach of 39 inches. Now, before we finish off on these stats, let's quickly go over the Robert Valentin reach and Torrez Finney's height. We're going to start with Finney. Do they have his height? 5'8". He's 5'8". And now we're going to go into Robert Valentin. Valentin has a reach of 77 inches. Okay, a little bit of a longer reach here. So it's not, okay, I was going to say it's not massive reach. It's a difference. It's a bit of a big difference here for Robert. Robert has a longer reach. He can just use his reach and keep the range. The height also goes into Robert's favor. So it's a bit of a tough fight for Finney, but we know Finney mainly gets knockouts. I know you guys can't see here that he gets knockouts, but his main thing is knockouts. So him being shorter, getting on the inside, he's a short guy. If you are shorter, you can be a little bit quicker, so you could get on the inside. It's going to be a little bit easier in my opinion, it is so much easier for the shorter opponent to get on the inside than it is for the taller opponent to keep them at range. Because especially in the UFC, a lot of these fighters don't use their fucking jab, and it pisses me off. These guys who are strikers just don't use their jab. They're like, yeah, I'll just throw my backhand. I'll feint the jab. I won't even throw it. I'll just feint it. You'll get on the inside. By the way, very quickly, I know I'm waffling, very quickly. The last 2 UFC fights have been a wank. The last 2, don't get me wrong, last week's, the Mexico one, wasn't too bad. UFC London was the deadest card of 2025, man. It was such a terrible card. It was so bad. I was going to stream it. I didn't. For reasons, bro, I was losing my mind. It was such a bad card, and I had people going, oh, it was okay card, and it was okay card, and then it finished and everyone went, oh, actually, maybe not. It was not a good card, my friends. It sadly was not a good card, but we're not here to talk about that. We're here to continue this one, but let's quickly move on to the win buys anyways. Again, more issues here. Finney's stats have not been jotted down again. It's so annoying seeing the UFC site do this. When Tapology has all the stats, I could just go off Tapology and not even use this site. But Robert Valentin has a 27% KO TKO, 64% submission, and a decision of 9%. His average fight time is sitting at 7 minutes, with a knockdown average of 0. Torrez Finney has nothing apart from a 9-minute average fight time and a knockdown average of 0. So let's very quickly do these stats because there's not much here, and this is kind of another thing that drove me away from doing these videos is there's not a lot of information to go off of anymore. Like anyone can just look these stats up and be like, oh wow, that's cool, man. But yeah, and then some of the sites they just don't jot it down, and it's fucking frustrating because I'm sitting here looking through going, oh okay, here's what I can talk about here on this. It's just becoming repetitive of the same things. It's boring, let's be honest. But what we're seeing here is Valentin is going to probably be highly grappling, and we know Finney mainly goes for knockouts, so it will be a tough fight for Valentin if he cannot keep his range. If Valentin can use his height to his advantage, he could put Finney on the back foot, get the takedowns, because he's going to struggle getting takedowns off the back foot. And that's a fact. You can get takedowns on the back foot, but it's a lot harder to get it on the back foot than it is on the front foot. Now, that also depends on how Finley's takedown defense is. Again, stats that we will hopefully find out later on if the UFC site have noted down. If not, it's going to be a difficult fight to judge and talk about here because we don't have the stats that are necessary to understand how this fight can play out. Now, my worrying factor is this stat hasn't been jotted down, so I'm starting to worry that. And also, Dana White Contender Series, Finley has the Contender Series gloves on, which means Torrez has only fought in Contender Series. Pretty sure he had a fight in UFC, but I don't know what happened with that. We'll check that out in a minute, but let's move on to win buys individually for Finley first. Now, the reason I chose Finley first is because he actually has his stats jotted down on this one, where he has 7 wins by knockout, 1 win by submission, and 2 wins by decision. So he hasn't lost. 0 losses, 10 wins. That's pretty good in my humble opinion. Also, it says 6 wins. Am I missing something? Math isn't mathing. That is 2 plus 1, that equals 3, and 7. Plus 7 onto that is 10. Why is math not mathing down here? That's 6. Okay, I don't get it. He's had 2 Contender Series wins. 1 was unanimous decision. Then he had a ground and pound win. Okay, so he has only fought in Contender Series. Okay, I'm wrong. I take it back. I stand corrected. My apologies. But TKO there. Decision. Knockout in... That is a different organization that's listed here. Contender Series again. The thing is, Torrez fought 3 times in Contender Series, won 3 times, didn't get in the first time, didn't get in the second time, and then I do believe it was in the same series. Yeah, same series. He got to come back and do it again, and this time he got a bit more of an exciting thing, because that's what Dana White wants, is these exciting stoppages. Which, don't get me wrong, the stoppages are amazing, but they don't really relate to much. So his most common win recently out of, let's go with these last 5 fights: knockout, near naked choke, KO TKO, and ground and pound. So basically it's mainly KOs and TKOs here, with 1 decision and 1 rear naked choke. So high stoppages, which is good. And if we go further on, it's going to be a lot more knockouts, which is also very, very good. We can already tell what the game plan here for Torrez Finney is. Keep it on the feet, keep it striking. He can grapple, he can wrestle, he can get submission. But his opponent, Valentin, does try and go for submissions a bit more. So I say keep it on the feet, keep it nice and, I would say nice and long, but get on the inside, make it a bit of a rough fight. And try and take control. Take control, force your opponent on the back foot, and go for that knockout. Make it uncomfortable. Get in the clinches, work in the clinches. Try and avoid getting up against the fence in a clinch, because I mean, a clinch either way, no matter where you are, it's a bit easier to get a takedown in a clinch. But try and keep him at a range that you can still strike him, but he isn't close enough to cut down that range to get the takedown. So it's going to be difficult for Finley here, depending on how good his opponent is at getting takedowns. But from right now, Finley, go for that knockout. Keep it nice and long, keep it striking, and do what you got to do to win. Keep your opponent on the back foot. Let's move on to Valentin right now. Okay, moving on to Valentin. This video is already 11 minutes long. This is super long for my videos. He has, and he said 6 losses there. He has four losses, 1 loss by decision, 1 loss by submission, and 2 losses by KO and TKO. So he's been knocked out and he's been submitted, and he's lost by decision. All of ways of which Finley has won. His most common losses are in round 1 for KO and TKO, round 1 for submission, and of course a decision. And he's had 1 KO TKO in the 3rd round. So round 1, Finley's going to be dangerous. Round 2, Finley can still be dangerous. And round 3, Finley needs to be very dangerous. Because this is probably him getting gassed out. He probably got tired, probably got hurt earlier on in the round. Him probably gassed out as well. That's round 2. Sorry, round 2. I said round 1, it's round 2. Sorry. So it is just probably him getting gassed out, tired, maybe getting hurt in the 1st round, maybe hurt in round 2 too. But we don't know that as a fact. So round 2 and 3, Finley could be the most dangerous, but Finley could shock him and knock him out in the 1st round. He's been submitted in the 3rd round as well. So yeah, as you get tired, it's going to be a lot more harder to grapple to wrestle, to get the stuff that you need to win the fight. So Finney could be dangerous on all bases, more towards the end of the fight. How does he normally get knockouts? So round 1, 2. So he's more dangerous towards the start of the fight, which is round 1 and round 2, when he is he's a bit less dangerous in round 2 to 3. So they both can be dangerous from round 2, and they both can be dangerous from the start to the last bell. Well, buzzer, whatever you want to call it. So either way, this should be a very exciting fight. It depends on who wants to start quick, and I think Finney will start a lot quicker than Valentin, in my opinion. Okay, so Aries, he had the one no contest. He lost once and has a win. Lions FC, he had 2 wins and 1 loss, and in UFC he's only lost, which his loss was ground and pound by Ryan Loader. Now, who won by ground and pound in their previous fight? Torrez Finney. Does that mean Torrez Finney does it again in this one? Probably not, but Ryan Loader either knocked him down and got the ground and pound, or took him down, started working and got ground and pound down there, where Robert just didn't answer any of the punches that were thrown at him. He beat Paddy McCrory in an exhibition. He beat Yanis Bacha, sorry if I say that wrong, in an exhibition as well. So that's not great. Your last 2 wins have been off of exhibition fights back in March. He hasn't fought since August. When did, to be fair, middle of the year was Contender Series last year, so they both roughly haven't fought until about the same time. Submission, armbar. Okay, so his last, if we go off his last 5 wins, it's mainly rear naked chokes. Mainly rear naked chokes, mainly submissions. Armbar, submission to strikes, so a TKO, TKO as well. Armbar, rear naked choke. So he's actually had 3 of both. Punch, submission to strikes. No, he's had 3 submissions and 2 knockouts. What am I on about? I'm losing my head, okay? It's the first video back, I'm losing my head, and there's the no contest in Aries. But as you can see, neither of these 2 actually have a proper win in the UFC yet. So hopefully one of them gets it. And if I'm being honest, I think Finney gets this. I think Finney knocks him out. So what are we seeing for both guys? They both are fairly dangerous at the start of the fight, towards the end of the fight. I think Finney will be a lot more dangerous towards the end of the fight. And I think Valentin would also be dangerous a bit earlier. But I also think they'll both be dangerous earlier on in the fight. But I think Finney, as the fight goes on, gets more dangerous because Valentin has been knocked out. Not because of the power or anything like that. If we're going just off of power, Finney's going to be more dangerous in the first round. That's where you're fresh, you're clean, you're ready to go. I think that's where you're most dangerous. But as you go on through the fight, the grappler tends to fade a bit more. Not every single grappler, but grapplers who tend to gas out a lot quicker, they fade. And I feel like the striker tends to get the better of them if they don't have high level striking or grappling, if they are a grappler. We actually do have other stats, so let's go into them right now. We actually have stats for significant strikes. Now, we're just going to go over these. We're not going to go into like deep dive into these stats because we already know the game plans for the fight. But if we are looking at their last fight, Robert Valentin didn't really land much. He landed basically 0 punches per minute. He did land punches, but over the full fight that he lost, he didn't do well at all. He had a 50% significant strikes. He absorbed 6 punches. Now, to be fair, Torres didn't land that many, so he should be okay. But I do believe he was sat down and then knocked out. But correct me if I'm wrong. He had a 19% defense, which is awful, god awful. So Torrez Finney, again, I'm gonna go Torres on this one because look at this defense. It is wank. It is awful. You melon. Torrez Finney, 50%. That's fair enough. That's okay. And a 70% significant strikes. This, comparing it to this and comparing it to this, Torrez Finney's should on paper kill him. Should finish him. It should be over. This fight, this shouldn't even be close. Finney should demolish him in the first round based off of these stats. We're going to move straight on to the grappling. Wow, an average takedown for Finney being an 10. That is the highest I've ever seen. The highest I've ever seen on this. 69% takedown accuracy, 0% takedown defense, with a submission average of 2. And then Robert Valentin had a 0 takedown average, 0% takedown accuracy, 66% takedown defense, and a submission average of 4. So I will still say Robert is a lot more deadly going down, but his takedown accuracy and average didn't exist in his last fight. He didn't get it. But takedown defense, he does have a very good takedown defense, comparing it to Finley, but Finley's opponent might not have taken him down in his last fight. And Finley done it about 20-30 times, apparently, according to this. Holy crap. And that's only 69% of that. I don't think that's completely correct, but if it is, wow. Submission average, again, Valentin, yeah, you expect it. So Valentin can get taken down and will still be deadly, while Finley can get the takedown and be deadly. But it's how, what if the roles are reversed? Can Finley still be deadly after being taken down, or will it be one-sided? Or even if Finley gets a takedown, will it still be one-sided? That's my questions here. But I think on the feet, it is one-sided to Finley, and then on the other one, I don't know. First video back, it's a crazy one. Also, I need to very quickly answer this for the YouTube viewers, because the TikToks and Instagrams won't see this. But to anyone who does see this, make sure you press the bell icon. If you have subscribed, press the bell icon, because I do upload other types of content. So a lot of you people who enjoy this type of content won't get to see it anymore or get recommended it, because one, I've taken a long break, and because I post other content too. I need to make a new channel for that. But for now, a lot of the content is put together, so YouTube doesn't tend to recommend it as much, because it's the algorithm, it's all algorithm based, and it fucking sucks. How do I think this fight plays out? Let's go off of this very quickly. How do I think this fight plays out? I think it's an early night. I think Finley gets it done. And if it isn't an early night, I still think Finley gets it done by a knockout, either late or early. I'm going to say it's going to be an early stoppage for Finley. Not as in like, oh, that was a late, early call, but I think it will be a early night for Finley where he gets a stoppage in the first or second round. Now, Valentin does have a chance. I'm not going to write him off and be like, he has no chance. But when it comes to striking, I am writing him off a little bit. So, contradicting myself a little bit here. But what do you guys think? Who do you think wins a handyman on? Apart from that, I'll catch you in a bit. Take care, and peace.